Yeah, I probably can. Okay, so we're going to be exploring the verb tener, which is um, it's still a stem changer. What's up, Alex?
I got on tech because my iPad isn't working.
Did you try rebooting?
I can't because it won't allow me to click.
You guys can't hard reboot with like buttons? If you can, if not, then go. That's fine. Okay, so I told you guys that even though we took the tener test, or the stem change test the other day, that we were still going to be working with stem changes, right? The reason we're saving certain ones, specifically this one, is because it's irregular. And not only is it irregular, but it kind of has its own set of vocab that goes along with it, and I didn't want to overwhelm you by throwing all of that at you at one time. All right? So we're going to fill the chart out together, and then talk about how that works with all these expressions, and then give you time to work on those kind of on your own. Okay? So we know that any verb, no matter what, starts with what for a definition? To. Okay? In this instance, this is going to mean to have. Okay? Now, it's still a stem changer, right? So I drop my ending. What am I left with? 10. Now, what are my two possible stem change possibilities? A lot possible in there. Based on what we see here. It's either going to be E to I or E to IE. Anybody have any inclination as to which one it is? IE. Okay, it's going to be E to IE. But here's the problem. Notice what's in the yo box. What's in the yo box? An asterisk. This is because tener is what we call an irregular yo verb, meaning it's a little different in the yo form. So in the yo form, it does not stem change, plus you have to add another letter. So in the yo form, it's going to be tengo, T-E-N-G-O. Right? So to say I have, tengo. Okay? Now from there, we follow our normal stem change rules. So I would have tien, tien.
Good morning. I'm sorry for the interruption. And it's senior that is taking the ASVAB on Monday. The roster is posted outside the main office. If you're unsure if you are, please check the roster outside the main office or reach out to Ms. Damian or myself if you have any questions.
So why am I not putting anything in here yet? Because it still doesn't change. In the nosotros form, we don't do the stem change, so it's still 10. Okay? So we got the O here like we normally do. What goes here? Yes, tienes, el, ella, y tiene. Now, everybody likes to pronounce this tien. Remember, you're not in English. There's no Siamese. Okay, so it's tiene. We got to get that S sound in there so that we finish out the pronunciation. Okay? What am I doing in the nosotros? EMOS. Okay, nothing changes from the normal there. And in the ellos, ustedes, EN, TNN. Now, I suggest underneath the box you can move this as much as you want. There's a couple things that we need to understand about this verb. Okay? First and foremost, outside of the fact that it's an irregular, okay, we need to understand that it means to have, but sometimes translates to be. Okay? But we're not including this with set and a stop. It's a whole separate thing. It's only in translation that sometimes it means to be. Okay? You guys have all heard or seen this, I hope. Something along the lines of tengo 15 años, right? If I asked you to tell me what that meant, what does tengo 15 años mean? It means what? Who's 15? I. So this would translate to I what? I am 15 years old, but literally speaking, it says I have 15 years, or 15 years of age. Okay? This is why when we translate, we have to be careful. Okay? When you look at these phrases that we're going to talk about in a minute, it says, define phrase, be careful, do not translate literally. Okay? Do not translate literally. Because if you translate it literally, and it says I have, while that is technically correct, that is not what we mean. Okay? The thing with tener in Spanish that makes it different is that there's a certain amount of phrases that instead of saying ser or estar, to be, right, we need to use tener with them. Okay? So we're going to do the first one together so that you can kind of see what I mean and you can kind of see what I'm looking for, and then you can do the rest of these. Okay? So, tener frío. What does tener frío mean? To be cold. Now remember, it's not I yet because it's not changed. So this translates to be cold. Right? What it literally means is to have cold. Right? And to our English brains, that sounds funny. All right? But in Spanish, to me, I'm not going to say estoy frío. That's wrong. Okay? Estar is short term. Am I always going to be cold? No. So this should work theoretically, but it doesn't. There's certain phrases, and they're typically going to be emotions or feelings. Right? Most of the time, these are short term. But they have nothing to do with estar. They're just a separate thing on its own. Why? It's just the way the language works out sometimes. Okay? So what I need you to do with the rest of this list is tell me what they mean. Technically speaking, we're calling these verb phrases. Verb phrases. So we're still starting with what first? We're still starting with to. Okay? Now listen, like I said, most of these you're probably okay saying to be. Some of them you might need to have. All right, but you're going to have to make that determination. And then we'll go over it together when we're done, or when you're done. Questions? We're good here? Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to do 2 to 22 here, or however many are on the bottom there. Sound good? All right, go for it.